personal definition of love has never been, I've never been able to go up here and to do it. My personal definition of love is just that feeling that you get. It's that sense. It's for me like using my imagination and God and imagining God wandering around and calling my name. And sometimes I jump out and go like here, you know. Sometimes I'm hiding. But you know, it's been in moments. I have to tell you, and this is not an easy thing to tell young, great people. I mean, like you're just like at the prime of, you just scream goodness. But the times I felt loved the most have been in the darkest moments of my life. When I was 29 years old, I had a brother die of AIDS. And he was in New York City in a hospital. And I brought my mother down. And I remember my mother, you know, just watching her son die, right? And she walked out of his room in the intensive care unit. And she looked at me, and my mother was not a pious woman. She was a very practical, good lady. She looked at me and she goes, I just saw the face of Christ in there. And she walked down the hall. And that was love. And she died young, too, in her 60s of cancer. And she said to me, right before she died, she said, whenever anything wonderful happens in your life, whenever there's a moment that you want to share with me, something that you would go home and you would pick up the phone and call me, just tell me, I'll be there. And that's love. So I've never been able to define it. I've heard it in Desperado. I've encountered it in family and in friends. And I've also, most importantly and significantly, encountered it in the dark moments of life. I think the thing is that Ignatius would say that God loves a persistent prayer. I think we need to be persistent in continuing to love somebody. When I think of, like, you know, in my life, having family members sometimes who wander and go in other directions, make poor choices, we still love them. We keep loving them, if not loving them more. In my family, and I think it's just part of being, you know, Irish and in New England, there's a number of people in my family who struggle with addiction, with alcoholism. And some terrible things go on and have happened, but never, ever do you stop loving that person. I have a Jesuit friend out at a high school in Detroit who always says to me when he gets off, right before we get off the phone, he'll say, with your students, love them into goodness. Just keep loving them.